main on MyDong. Oh yeah, so MyDong is attacking this time around on Gibraltar. This is game number 3 in a best-of-7 series using the Blizzard competitive format. The first game, both teams actually did set a time on King's Row, and Reunited ended up winning the best-of-1 playoff. And then our second map was actually chosen by MyDong. It was Lijiang Tower, and Reunited won that 3 rounds to 1. So Reunited is currently up 2-0 in the series.
Uh-oh, Weppass saying, well, reinforce. That's going to be so confusing. I'm actually pissed now, Winghaven. Let's go. I'm looking forward to this. Weppass on Reinhardt moving down. And are we going to see sort of a similar situation? Yes, Tviq and AKM moving up to try and counter Reunited there up on top. And ooh! And Winghaven getting killed very, very early on there. Perhaps didn't expect that snipe off on Reinhardt. So that's going to be a little bit of a pain for Reunited as the payload moves towards the first checkpoint.
Look at that. They actually did not get the checkpoint. This is so common now.
Oh, so close, so close. But they just need one person on it. Reunited has no one on it at the moment. Vallutaja is thinking about jumping on, but I think we're going to see just a little patience here coming out of MyDong. They might as well wait until they go together, and there we go.
Yeah, the first checkpoint, it's kind of weird because it doesn't actually do anything for anybody. It doesn't move your spawn to a better spot. It adds 2 minutes to the timer, but actually that is a change that was kind of reverted long ago, where that first checkpoint actually didn't used to exist. It just was part of the road, and too many teams were actually getting stopped short of this shuttle, so they added this checkpoint to be kind of like a feel-good measure, where it's like, hey, at least we got one checkpoint, where it's like previously you were getting 0 all the time trying to getting stopped right before this hangar room. But as it is, the checkpoint's just kind of meaningless. It's kind of a foregone conclusion in most of these high-level matches, so very often you'll see the payload just scoot right through that area that is sometimes called car wash. But I've been spectating TwoEasy now. He's just jumping around on his Winston looking for squishy targets. It's not the same as Lijiang, where you can just spin in all directions and kill everybody. There are a little more spread out this time around on the payload map. TwoEasy does have his ult available. He's going to try and kill Unkoe here one-on-one in the server room, but now Winz does come to try to help him out. There's that gorilla ult taking out Unkoe. Looking at the other healer, the rest of the team did manage to stop the payload just short of the hangar, but lots of members of MyDong still standing means that they will open that door.
Yeah, that was an incredible job, especially from the McCrees, actually. Tviq doing a lot of sustained damage during that period. Oh, and excellent, taking out Vallutaja as well before he has an opportunity to respond. And Mercy is caught out in the middle of nowhere right now. She's trying to fly back, will successfully do that towards Winston. But my goodness, we have AKM and Tviq both with Deadeyes available now inside the shuttle. It's going to be really difficult for Reunited to pop out here. And oh, that is an excellent high noon. Beautiful from Tviq, picks off 2 people, and who is on this Winston that he's taking out? Oh, it doesn't matter, there are 2 of them, and TwoEasy manages to take him out, but wow, Tviq with an excellent passage of play.
Yeah, I missed the high noon, unfortunately. Sorry, stream. We were right next to it, but I actually couldn't locate it.
It was down the corridor, and Winston just got behind the corner in time, but he got everyone else, and Winston was left out in the cold. It was beautiful.
Very nice. I hear another Deadeye coming out now. It looks like that was AKM this time. Does actually get the kill on Winghaven. Winghaven brought back immediately by the defensive Mercy Morte. There's a sound barrier for the defense. Offense doesn't really have a strong front line going right now, although Reinforce does drop the Earth Shatter and gets a nice pin on Morte. So good combo there from Weppass and Tviq to get all the kills there on offense.
He's sneaking in now back on Reaper at the moment, but he's trying to get on top of the shuttle with Reaper. He will successfully teleport inside it, but he is going straight into the face of the Soldier on the other team. So Unfixed now on Soldier 76. We're having a little bit of variation in the team comps compared to what we've seen earlier tonight so far. And the only person with an ult on each team at the moment is Vallutaja on McCree and Unkoe, who crucially has a res available on Mercy.
Alright, I'm watching Unfixed, the defensive soldier. He's keeping a lot of distance between himself and the cart, just taking free reign, some free shots over at Reinhardt's shield, popping Tviq as he sees him up in the top right. Does end up getting the kill there. Vallutaja's Deadeye finished the job. AKM killing TwoEasy. Vallutaja going down now as well. We get kills on both sides, but AKM actually lighting everyone up in a row. Means defense is going to be on the back foot.
Yeah, AKM and Tviq both having ultimates available. Tviq, of course, switching over to Reaper a little bit earlier on, so we have Deadeye and beautiful Death Blossom potentially available here. He's in the thick of the action, but the opponents are just a little bit too far away as things currently stand. 0 ultimates available on the part of Reunited, but they still manage to push things back, and it looks like MyDong once again are held inside the shuttle bay.
Yeah, Reunited doing a great job. Now, you know, the payload has moved quite a distance, but they have finally... calling out Mendo. TwoEasy and Mendo have, like, a rivalry that's just not matched right now.
Mendo's actually just switched on to McCree as he said that. It doesn't look like... who was he on before? I think he was on Widowmaker, right? Yeah. So that wasn't working out for him, so we've got another McCree. And Tviq is still on Winston, so we're going back to the double McCree composition, but with a Reaper as well.
And watching Mendo's Kree now that we mentioned, you know, obviously TwoEasy called him out for not getting enough damage in. McCree obviously does a lot more damage against these Winstons than a Widow does, but so far Reunited still just hanging on easily. Vallutaja this time being the star defensive player, getting a lot of kills.
Unfixed, first with the ultimate and the tactical visor, and then actually with just a very nicely placed bit of heal and some good firing, gets himself 4 kills there as Reunited once again forced back MyDong. And that was almost a solo effort from Unfixed, I think, with Morte, with a bit of healing, not even damage boost there on Soldier 76. So just very good positioning with an excellent tactical visor just as they were coming in. And now MyDong getting ready to push again. They've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds left to get the payload across.
4 ults available for the offense, 3 for the defense. This could be quite a barn burner we're about to see as TwoEasy jumps in for the engagement. There's the sound barriers on both sides. You can see the Death Blossom from Tviq not actually catching anybody except Vallutaja, so very good DPS loss there for the defense. Tviq is be happy about that. And the rest of the team filing in now. They're trying to find Kruise. Kruise hopping away on Lucio, but he actually gets out of there intact. They could just ignore this team on the right side, however, that would give the defense the high ground advantage, so they're going to continue pressing in. It looks like Unkoe and Mendo trying to get the kills on the Winstons. AKM actually still doing a lot of damage. Vallutaja has Deadeye active, and he does find Weppass up on the top. There is AKM actually getting taken out by Vallutaja during his Deadeye, so Reunited actually getting the better of almost all of those exchanges and now hanging on to the payload again. Only 2.5 minutes left, less than 2.5 minutes for MyDong to try and make this happen.
Oh, wow, that was big. I think Mendo was discussing with his teammates. He was stood still on McCree with Deadeye available, and he's actually just straight up switched over to Reaper. So 100% on the ultimate, going straight back down to 0. It looks like MyDong have something special planned for this push. They need to make it work, though, because it looks like after this, if they get wiped, I think it's just one more push before they're completely and utterly out of it inside the shuttle. So here we go. Winston Bubble on top of the shuttle is going to be relatively inconsequential at this point. Tviq takes out Winghaven. TwoEasy and Vallutaja also go down, but all in separate one-on-one fights. And this could be the push that they need to finally get things out of the shuttle.
Yeah, finally going back into free cam now. I was on Mendo's Reaper that whole time since we did call out his switch. He got a free kill on TwoEasy, basically doing 100% of his life, and then helped out with a couple of others to allow this cart to push. But they are all the way at the end now. Mendo dropping his Death Blossom does not catch a lot of targets.
Oh, wow. And Mendo, as soon as he's here, Mendo getting the triple kill. And I think he manages to get a 4th kill on Unfixed as well. So whoever called Mendo out, they just made him mad.
TwoEasy keeps calling him out.
TwoEasy's regretting that now. That was a huge quad kill from Mendo going into taking the point. And he's saying, "What's up, son? What did you say?" And that was a beautiful move there, I have to say, from Mendo. Okay, he is actually dead now, but he's more than done his part as we move on to the final point with 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining.
All right, Reunited did lose the shuttle room finally. We are on the very last set of defensive spawns all the way back here for Reunited. As you can see, they're keeping their corner, not allowing Mendo on Widow to get any free shots at them, staying around that elbow to stay alive. Tviq gets smashed by that Reinhardt hammer during his Death Blossom, not able to find any kills there. Vallutaja just doing such an incredible job on McCree on defense. TwoEasy is now swapped over from Winston onto a McCree of his own. And our compositions look a little bit different than they did earlier, but Reunited's still sticking to the very solid all-rounders.
Yeah, and there's nothing particularly crazy from Reunited's front. We saw a lot of different compositions, and I guess that's one of the benefits of having the multiple game modes as well. Some are going to look sillier than others, but you do get the variety in the game. We are sticking with the double McCree, and I'm still... Oh, Mendo's actually gone all the way back. And he's going on to Widowmaker, but that doesn't seem to be working to him. He gets taken out by TwoEasy. Ooh, that's not going to be feeling very good as far as he is concerned. Winz manages to pick up the pieces, but Vallutaja, in the meantime, also gets another kill. And it looks like we are going to see one more reset.
Yeah, Reunited just cannot, oh sorry, MyDong actually cannot get it coordinated enough. They don't have really a lot of ults to lean on. AKM's Deadeye is the only thing that they have at the moment. They need some of those defensive cooldowns like Winz or Unkoe's Res. Weppass looking for that Earth Shatter soon. That'll be nice if he can happen to actually land it. Winghaven, being an incredibly good Reinhardt player himself, often has that Reinhardt shield up. Payload moving slightly forward back to where it was, and now we're going to engage again here on the corner. Looks like Vallutaja snuck around, actually did get the Flash and Fan onto Weppass, and that's going to kill him super duper fast. 4 members dead, 5 members dead for MyDong. Reunited looking very good to continue defending this Gibraltar payload.
This is going to be potentially the last push of the game. 35 seconds remaining. They basically have to take this into overtime and push Reunited all the way back. And MyDong actually moving up into the side, trying something a little bit different. A huge charge coming out from Winghaven. The Vallutaja attempting to come out. Oh no, not Vallutaja, pardon me. Tviq actually with the McCree ultimate, but not quite able to get too much done. He's going down. Ult's going off everywhere, Joshy.
Reinforced did get his vengeance on Winghaven for mentioning getting 360 ulted earlier. He charged him into the wall, got the Reinhardt versus Reinhardt kill, but that personal victory is not going to be enough, as MyDong will not be able to touch the payload any further. And the Reunited successfully defends on Gibraltar. That's huge. We're getting very late in this series.
Making it too hard for MyDong here. Reunited will now push and aim to take the point outright. Liking the skin, by the way, and this was the sexy quad kill we were talking about earlier. Great tactical visor and good positioning meant that he was on the right-hand side, but watch Tviq. Tviq had absolutely no clue as he continued to absolutely lay justice down on the rest of the team. So, very, very good passage of play there coming out from Soldier 76, and excellent positioning there to follow things up. And now, Reunited have a chance to avoid King of the Hill altogether as a tiebreaker and win this outright by pushing the payload.
It's true, we could see Reunited take a 3-0 lead when all is said and done here on Gibraltar. That is only the second successful defense that we've seen today, including the BO3 earlier. Last week, we tried out these competitive rules again, or for the first time actually. Reunited just won the series 4-0, successfully defended every time against Gringos, so unfortunately we didn't actually see any sudden deaths last week. This week, a much different story. Reunited, I mean, the games are very close, the games are very good, all these players are amazing, but Reunited just edging it out every single time so far, and the fact that they did a full hold on MyDong on Gibraltar is a very good sign for Reunited.
That was just very impressive coming into the shuttle as well. I think if we cast our mind back to the initial best of 3, we saw teams kind of getting held up in the shuttle, but always able to push through. And Reunited just found that extra little bit of resistance. They actually reverting as well to almost a tried and tested, like classic composition, if you will. Yeah. So no and the moment they did that, the moment we stopped seeing the really crazy things, Reunited actually just felt a lot more together as the team, and they were just able to hold. I think just for a moment, the sort of double McCree Reaper composition that MyDong had threatened to really spill over, but Reunited did a good job of containing, timing their ultimates, making sure that they staggered them well enough that there wasn't any sort of breakthrough punch from that really, really high DPS composition that MyDong had.
True, valid points. The tank line, all the Winstons actually did a great job throughout, and now we're seeing no Winstons. So that's like complete night and day for attack and defend. No Winstons at all on Gibraltar is actually kind of crazy to me, because typically what you'll see is the Winston jumping after the enemy Widowmaker very often. Let me make sure my colors are right here. There we go.
Yeah, we've got Reunited attacking on red, and the defense, a very, very classic composition. Just McCree, Soldier. We do have Mendo on Genji, so we're going to be keeping an eye on him. Weppass / Reinforce on Reinhardt of Duty, of course. And then Winz is going to be our resident Lucio alongside Unkoe, who is on Mercy. Unfixed, trying to get a bit of damage done early on. Sneaking into enemy territory on Genji. Will have to pull back, though, as the Barrage of Fire pops in. And, of course, the payload, without much in the way of interruption, reaches point number 1.
Yeah, so I see Reunited holding up in the server room over here. Genji, Mendo being the kind of lead man there. Or sorry, that's MyDong actually in the defense position, but
Yep.
Mendo kind of just hanging out there in the front as Genji, acting almost as like a signal alarm, as now Reinhardt and the healers can kind of move out. You've got Mercy and the soldier acting on the other side of the payload as kind of a vice, but defense is scoring all the kills now. Reinhardt doing a good job there. There's an offensive res coming in from Morte. Is that going to be enough to actually make this payload continue to move? Weppass Reinforce actually landing the Earth Shatter and just sending that Fire Strike straight into Winghaven's face.
Yeah, very, very nice there. And might as well get a little bit more charge on the ultimate by giving a couple of swings in the background. 2 more heroes down, and of course that does mean the Reunited are going to have to try again. So this perhaps isn't as easy as they thought. They did manage, of course, to stop the payload from ever reaching the destination, but they, of course, are going to have to do the same on the other side. They're rushing it very, very quickly this time around, though. TwoEasy on Winston, getting right into Tviq's face. He did have to heal from Soldier 70, but he drives him all the way back into the room. In the meantime, though, without the tank, the rest of the team get basically isolated, and we now have a position where TwoEasy's still alive in the shuttle room, chasing Ghost. The rest of the team's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. He's all the way up in the shuttle right now. I'm just flying.
He was
over
chasing
to
Tviq back on Soldier 76, and now he's going, why am I alone, guys?
He's actually crouch walking too to make sure they don't know he's there, but Tviq's actually looking at the shuttle. Tviq saw him, so he knows that he's in there still. It's kind of interesting. All right, well, we'll just leave TwoEasy to go on his solo adventure. Now he's actually returning to the payload. Since nobody's dying, no one's running past him. He's actually all the way back at the payload now, able to jump in with the rest of his team. But here are those Winsons that we were missing earlier, coming into play to reach those high shelves, those ledges that Unfixed was sitting on. For example, AKM with the High Noon does actually score the kill on TwoEasy, and the rest of the attackers fall like flies. Winghaven coming back up from that Mercy res, but it looks like it didn't catch everybody. Morte goes down. Defense still has everybody standing, including Tviq, because it's super low health, but still shooting away.
I wanna potentially criticize something, but I'm gonna see if you agree. I really didn't like the revive from Morte there, because there were 2 or 3 heroes I felt for Reunited that, yes, you can revive them, but they were in positions where they were basically each stood underneath 2 different players from the defending team, and nothing was ever going to get coordinated in a couple of seconds. They were spread so far apart that the revive there was effectively just inviting a second wipe straight away, so I'm not sure how much I liked it.
Yeah, sometimes you get those disjointed reses, but if you see that big number, 3 or 4, you know, that's a very valuable time to hit the button. Like,
I guess.
Sometimes, I mean,
it's hard to make that deciin in like half a second.
In pro play, it's difficult too, because you very quickly, at a glance, have to know, does my team have any ults that they can ride off of this? Am I going to miss somebody? Like, am I going to miss the other healer or the tank because they're out of range? You have to make so many decisions so quickly that I think just seeing 3 or 4 usually is the right idea. It's just a matter of how do you get back together cohesively after the res, especially if Mercy is prone to dying instantly. Like, Mercy has to get into position to hit that button, and then when she does, she's usually dead right after. So it can be tough. It's not always
the number of heroes never die followed by instant death does occur to me is slightly amusing in Overwatch, but we have another team fight here going on. It looks like MyDong are going to be the first to unleash sound barrier in the middle of this. Winz actually getting right on top of the payload. Winghaven, though, having a couple of stabs at it, but not able to follow up on the Earth Shadow before he goes down himself. He's the only person that manages to get a kill onto Weppass, but they don't need the tank anymore because they once again have successfully pushed the payload back, and it's actually going back towards the first checkpoint at this point. They're doing an incredible job, and they're actually pushing Reunited back even more than they were stopped themselves. This is incredible coming out from MyDong.
Alright, TwoEasy actually swapping onto the Widowmaker now. It has been long enough. And they're down on time where TwoEasy is thinking, okay, I can actually hit some snipes up on that top shelf perhaps. I can maybe hit that Genji once in a while. Taking out Mercy is going to be a high priority for TwoEasy, but right now, so far, hasn't actually done a whole lot on Widow. Now with the engage, he's going to have some free time to look around, try and find that Mercy. He's actually pushing the payload right now, the Widow, but he does find Mercy a little too late. Tviq just jumps on him with that Helix rocket, and so there's no more Widowmaker. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, try and get a view of everybody. Actually, the red team's entirely dead. So Reunited getting stopped fully once again while the defense just kind of sets up once more.
Quick question, Joshy, for the audience. If Reunited gets stopped at a checkpoint that's not as far, does it still go to sudden death?
It's still sudden death. That's Blizzard's rules. You either finish the map or you don't. There's no no third option, I guess. So
this is really good This is incredibly good defense. I feel like if they get stopped at a previous point, there is an argument to say that wins in the map. But
that's in a different rule set.
Stopwatch.
In the stopwatch rule set, you're absolutely correct. But in Blizzard competitive, it is all or nothing. Check the box or don't check the box. So we are testing this competitive format for Blizzard. They have encouraged tournament organizers to try it out. Tviq actually getting a couple of kills there. A very important one there on the Mercy. Actually,
I should also point out, by the way, there's absolutely no guarantee Reunited are getting stopped any sooner because they are finally getting the payload back into position, but they do have to get to this checkpoint and then halfway into the shuttle before it even comes close to a position where the two teams are more or less on equal footing. So I was speaking in hypotheticals there, guys. It is not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, but once again, we have more defense coming out now to try and stop this. 20 seconds left now before this potentially actually gets stopped and goes into sudden death right here, right now. So much left to do for Reunited, and the defense has just been superb here for MyDong. They have played a close to perfect defense and they've kept, once again, the very standard composition as well.
Sudden death.
Good. So good from MyDong there. That was beautiful.
Oh man.
Play of the game.
So AK, I'm not a biggest fan of the new competitive format, for sure. Let's go ahead and roll that dice, Jorosar.
Alright.
And we can quickly lobby
1 and 2 Nepal, 3 and 4 Lijiang, 5 and 6 Ilios. Ladies and gentlemen, the dice of justice is about to roll a 2. I did say I roll 6s except when I roll 2s, right? So the rule is going to stay, and we are going to Nepal. Does it or does it not apply necessarily to competitive Overwatch? Well, there'll be time. The good news is there'll be time for feedback, and there will be adjustments made, of course, before the start of the game release proper. That's what periods like this are for, to test all these modes out, and it's good that we have the opportunity to play a part in that now. Control point unlocking 25 seconds. The teams, of course, already on their way, and it looks like the first shots are going to be taken by both teams, really, but we head straight onto the point from Reunited here.
Yeah, very Tracer, Winston, and Lucio heavy once again. No characters other than those, except for Tviq on Roadhog, so that's who I'm actually going to spectate. It was TwoEasy on Roadhog in the previous Lijiang Tower King of the Hill map, so maybe they liked the idea. There's a quick hook onto Winston for the kill. TwoEasy the only kill for a Reunited side so far.
And once again, we see the very strong early game stuff. I mean, we got a lot of this action from Lijiang Tower, as I'm sure you guys remember, but MyDong at the moment capturing the point for us, doing a great job of just staying together in the initial points. But now we have Reunited almost coming out from the right-hand side, maybe catching them a little bit by surprise here.
I saw Roadhog actually landed a hook on Tracer, and Tracer basically just vanished out of view. I have no idea. There was no like graphic or anything. I don't know if she blinked or recalled or what, but essentially just disappeared completely. So it was kind of jarring. But now it looks like Reunited actually are going to take the point for the first time, potentially, as MyDong members start to fall. We do still have AKM and Unkoe there. Winz also hanging around the point, jumping up, riding around that center spire just to continue to contest. And it's a good thing, too, because they actually are going to hang on long enough for the sound barriers to go off on both sides. It looks like Reunited not getting the kills that they need. Vallutaja finally getting a kill, Unfixed finally getting a kill on Winz. Both Lucio's down for MyDong. Looks really bad for them.
It's a little bit tricky, unfortunately, for MyDong at the moment, because they are trickling in a little bit, and Reunited are constantly getting ready to retake the point. And, ooh, very nice little dart in as well on behalf of Mendo to try and extend this just a little bit more, but Reunited are going to be able to take the point. They're currently on 77% versus 64, so about 2/3 of the point already captured here for MyDong, but they are going to have to recapture from Reunited, and we have seen before on these control maps that they have done an absolutely stellar job once they get the point on defense, Josh.
All right, we've got the team flooding in once again. As MyDong. Tviq does pop his whole hog ultimate and does manage to push them off of the point, but not long enough to actually flip it over. Looks like the Winz are all going insane right now, just raging out, slapping whatever happens to come into view. There's a pulse bomb onto Unfixed. Unfixed does live through it. So far, no deaths except for Kruise and Winghaven, both on the reunited side. So MyDong actually looks like they are going to potentially be victorious here. Weppass actually gets out with only about 5 HP, but does die in the end. It looks like still just too much HP. Morte comes back in with the sound barrier, and the fact that the Winz are still alive means that that's enough extra HP to hang on to that point.
Yeah, don't forget as well, there is only one Winston on MyDong's side, so we're not seeing 4 monkeys. I mean, it's a slight difference. We're seeing 3, but it means they're going for the composition that is less similar to what we saw in Lijiang Tower. And this is a map, by the way, where going to the point itself, it's a little bit more complicated. You can't just come out of your spawn and Winston jump all the way there. It's a little bit more difficult. There are a couple more obstacles in the way. Tracers are slightly less useful here because unlike on Lijiang, you can't just immediately pop straight over there from the point too. So there's a little more strategy to think about here and a little more time to buy if you're the team on the defending end of things.
That's true. They've got to basically ride it out. They've got to weather the storm, attacking in every time. There's that sound barrier. The pulse bomb goes out very quickly, does not find any kills. It looks like the sound barrier on MyDong's side came in at a perfect time to protect someone from dying there. It looks like they are going to get Vallutaja killed off. That is a valuable source of DPS for Reunited that's now gone. Winghaven falling as well. And suddenly Reunited still sticking very closely to the point, but now they've got more characters dead. They're going to need to somehow stay alive through 6 versus 3 here. Oh, actually, they did get the kill on Unkoe and Mendo.
Oh, man, and that was huge, actually, because what MyDong need to do at this point is not continue to contest non-stop in their face. They just need to group up, and at some point in overtime before Reunited take the point, push in really hard and kill off 2 or 3 heroes, right? They can actually move off the point for 5 to 10 seconds and get ready for that if they felt like it, but they didn't have the opportunity to do that when Mendo and Unkoe went down very, very quickly, so they're going to have to do it the hard way.
Yeah, essentially it's 99% to 68%. 3 Reunited members dying is actually really, really good for MyDong actually taking the first game in this series, and it is a VO1.